Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And the day has finally arrived. Yesterday, the New Jersey Devils took to the ice for the first day of training camp under Sheldon Keefe at Prudential Center in beautiful Newark, New Jersey. And there's a lot to get into, so let me just start at the top. Dawson Mercer still without a contract, and it is an unfortunate situation. He missed the first day of camp, which was media day, not a big deal, and now we're hitting the ice under new head coach Sheldon Keefe. Everything is in a shortened timeline because of the trip to Prague, short camp. It is vital that Dawson is on the ice. He is not yet, and it's unfortunate. It's completely unfortunate that he's now missing time on the ice with the boys, and it sucks. It's super unfortunate. Hopefully they get a deal done soon. And a situation like this, I really wish, and this is obviously unrealistic, but I wish that I knew what the potential deals on the table looked like so that I could judge whether to be mad at Mercer or Fitz. Because as of right now, without knowing the details, it's hard to blame a side. Not that I need to blame a side, but at least I know a little bit more how I want to feel towards the whole situation. I typically am pro the players getting paid. I think, these guys, sacrifice their bodies to entertain us, and they play a sport, and they want to be set up for life, and I get all that. So I'm very pro the players getting money, but I'm also very pro the organization doing the right thing for the organization and fielding a competitive team with the salary cap restrictions we have, et cetera, et cetera. And so without knowing the number, it's hard for me to gauge. I would have to believe that Fitz didn't completely lowball him and that whatever his pending multiple different offers are, that they're in the realm of reality and fair. But, again, without knowing the number, it's hard to say, but I could see both sides of it. I do think that Dawson Mercer has a very bright future. I think he could be a great player in this league. I think he could be a very integral member of our top six. And so I do think there's some value there. However, with that being said, I could also see the standpoint of Fitz or the organization saying, listen, dude, yeah, you played all 82 games last year, but you had 33 points. 20 goals and 13 assists, that's nice. But at what point is your expectation of your contract unrealistic? And I hate to be that guy, but I could see where, they might be trying to pay him a little less. Now, I don't know exactly what the number is where I would say Fitz is lowballing him or not. But I'd have to imagine at a minimum, Fitz offered, this is pure speculation and conjecture on my part. I would have to believe that Fitz offered him at least $3.5 million times 2 years. I have to believe that in good faith. I think Fitz is very good at working the cap, very good at trying to keep this team together for as long as possible. And so I have to believe he offered him at least that. I can understand Mercer and his agent wanting more, but I don't think that's an unfair offer. It might not be, ideal for Mercer. That's fine. But you have to realize you are coming off a 33-point season. And so you kind of did this to yourself. We'll see how that goes. He should take a cue from Sidney Crosby, right? Sid just signed a team-friendly deal, $8.7 million a year for 2 years. On the open market, Sid would easily be worth $12 million. I mean, aside from his on-ice production, Sid is a marketing marvel for any team. And he took a very team-friendly deal at $8.7 million a year. Obviously, a little bit different of a story as Sid is set for generations of Crosbys till the end of time with the amount of money he's already accumulated throughout his career. And Mercer is a very young player looking to set himself up financially. But they have the same agent. Pat Brisson, power agent for CAA. For those of you not familiar, it's basically a super influential, powerful agent powerhouse. And Marty took deals for less as well. And so sometimes to build a winner, Fitz has said this too, guys have to leave a little meat on the bone. Hopefully this gets ironed out. Again, without knowing the details, it's hard for me to know who to blame. At the moment, I'm going to say I feel like it's probably more Mercer and his agent's fault. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. So Dawson's still not signed. Hopefully that gets wrapped up sooner than later. And the most exciting thing for me on the day, Simon Nemec is in fact alive and well on the ice today for camp. Here you see Simon on the ice during some drills or scrimmage, whatever they're doing here, and love to see it. Absolutely love to see Nemec. It's going to be interesting to see how they utilize him in the preseason, but he will definitely be ready to go for the global series in Prague, and that is awesome that we're not going to be without him. Obviously, we're already down Luke. Being without both Lukehughes and Simon Nemec for the start of the season would have been pretty sad. And so glad to see Nemec will be in the opening night lineup. With the good news of Simon Nemec healthy enough to be in the opening night lineup for the Global Series, we get the bad news of, here from Amanda Stein, here is a tweet. Brett Pesce is making progress from his season-ending surgery he had in Carolina. He's considered week to week. Ouch. Great that he's going to be in the opening night lineup, I'm assuming. It seems that way. But I wasn't really calculating for that one. But either way, short-term thing. So as of now, just down Lukehughes on the blue line. We will be with Shimo Nemec, which is a great thing to see. And now the most anticipated portion of the day for me and many of you. What are these lines and these D pairings going to look like? And here we see Amanda Stein with the most famous handwriting in New Jersey Devils history. Her standard notebook set up here, and we see the top line, the top dogs. The top line consisting of Timo Meier, Jackhughes, and Jesper Bratt. The first thing that kind of alarms me is, are we really going to go down the road of Timo Meier on the left wing? I understand Timo said he's comfortable with both and yada yada. I hope there's more to this, because if Timo is on the left, I'm gonna lose my mind. We saw him used on the left by Lindy for the majority of the season. He was definitely struggling to find his game there. Yes, he was injured, but clearly later on in the season when he was on the right side, he was a completely different player. He was on the right side for his career in San Jose. That's where he was thriving, and that's why we traded for him, for that production and that lethal shot and all the physicality and everything else he brings, but it was all on the right side. And when Travis Green came in and put him on the right side, he was like a new player. And so I hope eventually he's on the right side. That was one of the more baffling things that I've seen. But Meier, Hughes, and Bratt, pretty lethal top line. And then we see a line that gets the juices flowing for me, because you guys all know I'm a fan of the physicality, Neanderthal hockey, baby. And I love grinders. And we see a line of Cotter, Lazar, and Bastian. Ooh-wee! Let the bodies hit the floor. Those boys are going to be punishing people if they stay together as a line. Then the next line here we see is McDermott, Dowling, and Stillman, followed by LeBerge, Perrant, and Squires. And then we get to the D pairings. Siegenthaler and Kovacevic, which, by the way, Amanda spelled Siegenthaler wrong there. It's very interesting. I'm surprised that she did that. But Siegenthaler and Kovacevic, Hataka and Nemec, Zboril and Mizul, and Vandalist and Diat, with the three goaltenders being Markstrom, Dawes, and Brennan. Now, again, these are obviously subject to change. This is a work in progress, but this was kind of where the starting point is going to be for the lines and pairings they threw together. And when I see Siegenthaler and Kovacevic, I have to believe that Kovacevic is slotted in there for Pesce. If these D pairings hold throughout camp and possibly some preseason into the regular season, I think we are going to see Siegenthaler and Brett Pesce as one pairing, and Hataka, who I said in previous videos I thought was going to assume the spot that Lukehughes has vacated with his injury, Hataka and Nemec. Very interesting. I think that could be an excellent pairing. And that was for the first session on the ice. And then we go to session 2, and we see Tatar, Hischier, and LeBanc. LeBanc coming here on a professional tryout. Turns out he was roommates and very friendly and tight with Timo Meier when they were in San Jose. And I see Tatar, Hischier, and LeBanc, and, you have to believe that spot was originally supposed to go to Dawson Mercer, and that the Devils were trying to rekindle some of that magic that Tatar, Hischier, and Mercer had a couple years back. Mercer without a deal, and they plug LeBanc in there. If I'm Dawson Mercer and I see this, you have to know, wow, that was my spot, and now I'm sitting out and time is going on. And LeBanc may very well stick around, especially if Dawson doesn't sign. If I'm Dawson, I'm getting nervous. LeBanc is friendly with Meier. He was practicing in New Jersey before the team offered him the professional tryout, and now he's slotted in the spot that had to have been for Dawson Mercer, and he's looking to take the spot. Very interesting line right there as well. And then we have Palat, Bowers, and Nason. Okay, that's interesting. And then we get more into the camp depth lines. Foote, Schmelzer, Willman, Hardman, and Garris, and Hallinan. And then the D pairings, part due. Brendan Dillon and Dougie Hamilton. Oh, boy. Those are two very big men. That is going to be an intimidating pairing if they stick together. coming in at almost a combined 13 feet and 450 pounds or so between the two of those boys. That is a big blue line. I love it. And then we have White, DeSimone, Villain, and Casey, McKinnon and Wolinski. And then the goaltenders for this session were Allen Poulter and Jeremy Brodeur. But when I look at this, the glaring thing is, wow, LeBanc might just assume that spot that Dawson Mercer has left open for the taking as of now without the contract. And then Palat, Bowers, and Nason. Okay. I expect we're going to see in the bottom six, especially some juggling around. But it's going to be interesting to see how these kind of play out through camp. And then we look at some of the images of the day, and oh, does this image make me smile? We've been waiting for it for months, and here it is, the New Jersey Devils on the ice for the first time. Training camp, day one on the ice under new head coach Sheldon Keefe, and there's Sheldon blowing that whistle, running a drill. All of the players had very intense practice, up-tempo. You like to hear stuff like that. A lot of them seem to be a fan of the way Keefe runs his practice. They like the intensity. They like playing that speed game. I have very high hopes for Sheldon Keefe this year. I really do. And this New Jersey Devils club at large. We see Timo Meier digging a puck off the boards there. And by the way, I absolutely love these practice jerseys. I saw them a couple weeks ago, and I forgot to say something about it. But I absolutely love these practice jerseys. I actually don't know how I feel about the random shoulder thing. I could probably do without that little spot of black there. But I do love the white crest on the chest. It reminds me, I'm going to back in my day. I'm going to go back to the old days. The late 90s, early 2000 New Jersey Devils. My favorite practice jersey of all time was the CCM Center Ice, which it said Center Ice and a white ring around the logo. Very reminiscent of the jersey they're wearing now. And so for that reason, it kind of plays on that nostalgia. And I really like these practice jerseys. I'll be having to get one of these myself very soon. But love to see it. Superstar Jackhughes operating on the boards there. Young Cam Squires in a puck battle. Newly acquired New Jersey Devil Jonathan Kovacevic, who I believe is going to be one of those 7-8 defensemen for us and may see some time if people struggle or with additional injuries. Jack Hughes and Nico Dawes sharing a little laughter there. There he is. Nico Hischauza, the captain. Yeah, the more I look at it, the more I really don't like that random black thing on the shoulder. What the hell is that? This jersey would be really sweet without that. And then obviously without the sponsor patch. This video brought to you by RWJ Barnabas Health. Dougie Hamilton and Nason battling it out here in this one. Listen up, listen up. Coach is speaking. Sheldon Keefe imparting some words of wisdom onto his young New Jersey Devils club on the ice. Another newcomer, Brendan Dillon. And guys, I'm very excited for him. Free agent signing Brendan Dillon. I am pumped for this one. I feel like this kind of maybe went under the radar with all the other moves and things over the summer. Brendan Dillon brings the boom. Heavier, edgier, more violent. He's a big man. He'll finish in the top 10 to 15 or so in the league in hits, and we desperately need it. We need it. We've been way too soft, way too easy to play against, and Brendan Dillon is going to help change that dramatically. Love to see Brendan Dillon there on the day one of camp. And then the biggest loss or miss on the day for me, and shout out to the Devils. I think they are doing better as time goes on with providing content and giving some behind-the-scenes stuff in the interviews and all that. I think they are doing better. Head over to the Devils YouTube channel. They have a couple clips and a lot of interviews with the guys from today. But the one miss, the one thing I really wish we got was a really detailed, good look at Jacob Markstrom's mask. I've been dying to see it. And in one of the videos, they show Markstrom walking on the ice. So here's I did a little freeze frame action. Here's one shot of the mask. It looks super sick, but it's hard to make out the details. And here's another angle when he's about to step on the ice. I cannot wait to see this up close and personal. Hopefully he either plays or has at least dressed on Sunday for the preseason game against the Islanders. But that mask is going to be beautiful. I cannot wait to see it. And I'm hoping a better image of it comes out tomorrow. I imagine it could. But for today, we did not get a very good look at the Markstrom mask. I was really hoping to see that. Like I mentioned, the Devils did a really cool video, or actually two videos, where they showed some interviews after with some of the guys. So definitely checked it out. Some of the questions Jack was asked were pretty interesting. They were just asking about his overall feeling on camp, and he mentioned, it was very up-tempo under Keefe and that he liked it. When he was asked about some of the offseason maneuvers, he said we added experienced guys who've been on playoff teams and part of winning cultures and winning teams, and so he thinks that's going to definitely help their young group. A lot of the reporters were asking all the guys about Mercer, which is to no surprise. But when he was asked about that, Jack said it's basically no big deal. They all love Dawson. They hope he's back soon, and they hope it all gets worked out. But none of them really gave a juicy answer that maybe the media was fishing for. I'm not really sure. I mean, Jack basically said exactly what I would have expected him to say. They asked him about Luke's injury. He said it was obviously very disappointing. And then when they were talking about last year, Jack flat out said we were brutal last year. A lot of things have to change. And, that's, I guess, acceptance is the first step. They realized they weren't doing, I guess, a lot of the things they should have been doing. And now this is a new team, new culture, new faces. And the expectations and the kind of standard operating procedure is going to change for the better going forward. And hopefully it translates into on-ice success. And then my favorite interview clip of all that I saw was when they were talking to Paul Cotter. And one of the media asked him, what did you think when you saw the board with your line of you, Lazar, and Bastian? And Cotter kind of cracked a smile and he said, that's a meat line right there. That is a meat line, and indeed it is. I think that could be a punishing line for sure. I'd mentioned in previous videos I thought, maybe Cotter would get a chance to play a little bit higher up in the lineup. Second or third line at points, but I'm okay with if he's a integral part of a grinded out fourth line. I would love to see that as well. We'll see. I think we're going to see him play a couple different roles throughout the season while they kind of tinker with chemistry and things. But to start it off, I'm not mad at it at all. That is an absolute amazing fourth line. I love that as a fourth line. Cotter, Lazar, and Bastian, I think they could be punishing and very, very hard to play against and give our opponents fits on a lot of nights. So I do love to see that. Cotter continued to talk about that line, and he said those guys might kill some people on the way in the corners, and I'll be right there waiting for the puck. I thought that was pretty funny that he was very blunt about, the mission. Heavier, edgier, more violent, baby. And Cotter, Lazar, Bastian is a line that 100% fits the bill. So it's going to be interesting to see if that kind of sticks together or if he gets bumped around or what other kind of shufflings we see of the lines, and as the days go on, we'll see if we see any new looks and any new combinations out there. I'm very excited to see what the lines officially will be on opening night, but I think it might be very close to what we're seeing now. And then Fitz did a press conference after camp, and the most intriguing thing to me was he gave confirmation that the league, because of the global series and the travel and all that, they give you 3 extra guys to bring with you to Prague. So we have the 23-man roster plus 3 additional. I'd have to imagine one of the 3 additional will be a third goaltender. And so with our tandem being Jacobmarkstrom and Jake Allen, I'd have to believe the third goaltender will most likely be Nico Dawes to make the trip to Prague, leaving 2 other extra spots for guys to go over to Prague. So I do think there's opportunity there. I do think at a minimum, if Chase Stillman doesn't make the opening night roster, I do think he will be right there as one of the 3 extra guys brought to Prague, and that's an accomplishment in itself. I'm sure Stillman went into this camp thinking, I want to win a spot, I want to be in the opening night lineup. If he falls short of that goal, I still think getting on the plane as one of the extras to go to Prague is a big win for him and a step in the right direction. So hopefully, whoever earns that spot in camp is going to be on the plane. Overall, very exciting. Boys finally back on the ice. It's been way too long. Exciting content coming out. Exciting to see the different line combinations and all that stuff. Hopefully Pesci's back sooner than later. And hopefully Mercer gets a contract. I don't know how much longer this could really go on for. And at what point do they just say, screw it, and explore trading him? I mean, it's kind of crazy now. Like I said in a previous video, I thought this would have been wrapped up by early September. And the fact that now we're in camp and now he's missed a day on the ice, I really hope I wake up tomorrow morning and see that the contract is done. But again, Fitzy mentioned, we're close, but we've been hearing this for weeks. How close are you? I don't know. Close is a very loosey-goosey kind of term. So I'm not putting any stock into anything until I see the guy on the ice with his contract announced. And again, at what point do they maybe say, we're washing our hands of this? I hope that doesn't happen, but at some point that might be the reality. Hopefully this is all out the window, and again, I wake up tomorrow and the contract is signed. But let me know anything that you guys found interesting about today, anything I talked about in this video. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, head over to the Devils YouTube channel. They have a bunch of cool stuff from today. And yeah, let me know anything, everything New Jersey Devils hockey. Throw it out there in the comments. I love talking to you all. Do not forget to get your Dirty Devil Vodka, the official vodka of the great Martinbrodeeur. Information in the bio. Delicious vodka, gluten-free. Make all your seasonal cocktails. Dirty Devil Vodka info in the description. And that's it, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. I am super excited to see whatever coverage comes out. I'm hoping to get a really good look at that Markstrom mask. And maybe as childish as that is, I'm a big fan of the masks, and I love the goalies, and I love Markstrom. I just want to see that beautiful mask, an in-focus shot of it. Throw it out there in the comments. I will talk to you all soon. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.